Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for this wonderful webinar. I have a very important message that I want to share with all of you. The title of my presentation is Developing Resilience in the New Economy. There are 4 words that will be stuck in my mind for the rest of my life. I will kill you. I can still hear those words in my mind, words that went straight to my heart, and it brought chills of fear to every part of my being. Those words will haunt me to the last day of my life. Chen, not her real name, said those words to me over the phone. I have no qualms that she meant every word that she said, and she had also made sure that I heard her loud and clear. At that point, she was in Hangzhou and I was in Shanghai. Chen was one of my company's distributors then. She was an up-and-coming leader in our distribution chain in China. Tall, slim, good-looking, articulate, and outspoken. Chen had these and many other qualities that would make her and help us stand out in any meeting. That was the impression I had when I first met her. Many who had business dealings with her shared a similar impression. As part of our business system, she was encouraged to attend a series of training sessions. That was how I first met Chen when I taught in one of those classes. The objective of the program was to mentor distributors on how to conduct business presentations in public. As part of the training, they had to learn how to create a personal and impactful introduction for their presentations. I told them, if you don't win the audience hearts and minds right from the beginning, you may not have their ears right to the end of your presentation. The audience might not support and buy into your message, let alone patronize your products and services. To ensure the students cultivate the right skills, they had to practice presenting the introductory part of the speech to the class as well as to our guest. When it was Chen's turn, she stood up confidently at the center of the stage. She had a commanding presence, even as she scanned the rooms and attempted to connect with each and every one. She looked into every pair of eyes as if she was sublimely crawling her way through their eyes and into their souls. Finally, she spoke, and her words literally hit our hearts like an emotional tsunami. Chen said, I was once a prostitute. After she spoke those words, there was an electrifying silence, a silence that spoke louder than words. Subsequently, Chen had not only earned her rights to our listening ears, she kept us spellbound with her life story. It was an inspirational story of how she literally fell into a deep pit in her life. As part of an underground network in her town, she went through many struggles and battles to stay alive. What impressed me most was the fact that she was a fighter. Chen never backed down from a challenge, and she managed to find her place in the dark shadows of the main street. With the same can-do and will-do spirit, she fought hard to leave the red light district and establish herself in the business world. Chen committed everything she had into the business, and she was doing well at the beginning. Unfortunately, a very bad experience marred her fiercely determined quest for success. She was cheated by her master distributor, and the ensuing disappointment and resentment quickly spiraled to increasing depths of hatred. The experience upset her to a point where she almost lost her senses. Her temper was flaring and negative emotions were eating away into her heart. She became bitter and was looking for scapegoats to blame for her problems. Tragically, Chen thought that our company was involved in engineering her bad experiences. And that was why she made the call to us and threatened every key leader in our management team. Even though she had gone straight, there was no doubt in our minds that she was probably still in touch with the underworld. Without listening to our full explanation, she started to voice a stream of profanities and curses at us. She was thirsting for blood, and more specifically, my blood, notwithstanding that my blood was old and high in cholesterol. I can still recall two of my colleagues sitting beside me trying to pacify her in a teleconference. Bits of perspiration were forming on their foreheads, and they were gripping the edge of a table. Chen was screaming into the phone, "Don't ever think of doing business here again. Never even step foot on my country. If I ever meet you, I will make sure you die a painful death." She had repeated her desire to end my life quite a few times during the teleconference. Long time ago, I had learned that business profit is not as important as upholding dignity and value of a human being. I seek to be at peace with people, and if at all possible, I want to value add to their lives and inspire them to success. I press on to calm Chen and try to find a resolution. Guess what I finally did? My response might surprise or even shock you. I tried very hard to clarify that we had nothing to do with her issues. At one point, when she repeated her threat to my life, I told her, "I will catch the next flight to your city, and I will present myself to you. All I ask for is that you give me a chance to explain to you face to face." To say that she was surprised by my response was an understatement. It stunned her into total silence for a while. Then Chen repeated her threat. "How dare you even think of stepping into my territory? Perhaps you are not getting it. Let me say it again. I will kill you." I repeated my offer to meet her face to face a few times. Finally, my words sank into her heart. It may not sound like the right thing to do, but at that point, it was the most appropriate action for the situation. I needed to let her know that I was sincere and I was prepared to prove my innocence. In my study of communication, I realized very often it is not what you say, it is how you say what you say that matters. When I offered to meet her, safety or security was not the uppermost in my mind. Protecting myself could be planned for at a later stage. What was more important was the fact that my honor was at stake. Honor is what gives every human a sense of pride and dignity. Without pride and dignity, there will not be any true meaning, joy, or passion for living. Honor is an essence of life. It has to be defended at all cost. For the sake of defending my honor, I was prepared to risk my life, make a trip to the unknown, and walk into an unpredictable future. As a child, I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I had to earn my keep as an honest hawker at the defunct Sungai Road Flea Market. In the days of old, Sungai Road Flea Market was sometimes known as the Thieves' Market. At a young age, I decided never to bow or bend to wealth, might, strength, or power. Never to run away from challenges, especially if they stood in my way of achieving a worthwhile cause. I may take time to reorganize myself, but I will return and do everything possible to resolve the challenges. As I studied the lives of great leaders, one common denominator stood out in my mind. The leaders who shaped their worlds and created new futures were defined by their indomitable fighting spirit. As much as they preferred to pick their battles, they were at the same time operationally prepared to fight against all odds to reach their desired destinations. They knew full well that if they did not fight for good cause, they might fall for anything and live for nothing. When they fought for a good cause, they lived out the essence of life. On the other hand, when they fight for nothing, they might end up as living dead. People who were dead but not buried. Therefore, quitting was never an option, nor was it ever given a chance to reside in the spaces of their minds. They live by the saying, the battle is never over as long as you don't quit. When you quit, the battle is over. There would always be a way to overcome any challenge or to go around it. The leaders who never quit would eventually lead their people to the promised land. And along their journeys, one of the greatest battles was the battle with themselves. They constantly wage a war to direct and control and discipline themselves. They learn to transform themselves from what they were to become what they should be in order to be a great leader. These leaders suffered many defeats, went through more than their fair share of traumas, pains, and brokenness. However, they chose to capitalize on these challenges to further strengthen their fighting spirit. They are committed to grow bigger than their problems and fight more wisely to achieve a final victory. Back to my story. It took us a while to pacify Chen. She must have sensed my integrity and felt my intention to achieve a win-win outcome. In the end, we came to an amicable settlement with her. Sadly, Chen decided to give up the business, and when we parted ways, she was still reeling with hatred and bitterness. Deep in my heart, I pray that the fighting spirit that got her off the streets would help her rise up again from the pit and soar to the stars of her dreams. As a company, we removed the master distributor. To stabilize and grow the business, we fought many more battles to set our house in order. As I reflect on this episode, one key lesson is that the journey to success is not about the final victory. It is about the way you fight your way to the final victory. Successful people have one common denominator, especially during a climate of turbulence. And that denominator is resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is the ability to recover from difficulties, setbacks, or failures and press on to achieve success. It is one of the hallmarks of leaders and winners in life. What are the critical success factors for resilience? To develop resilience, there are three important critical factors. First, choice. Resilient people realize their limitations. Therefore, they choose their battles carefully. These are battles that will make better use of their potential. Sorry, let me repeat again. These are battles that will make best use of their potential, strength, and resources to achieve optimal results. Second, perseverance. Resilience is not only about bouncing back from a pit or pitfall in life. Resilience is also about the creativity, ability, agility, and tenacity to persevere until you reach a desired destination. Resilience is not only about having the guts, grit, and gumption to do what you want to do. It is also about doing the things that you don't want to do in order to reach a worthwhile goal. Resilience drives you to persevere despite obstacles, adversities, and other challenges along the way. Resilient people don't just ask, what if I fail? They also ask themselves, what if I don't succeed? They don't just ask, is there a way? They also ask, how can I find a way? They constantly review themselves by asking, for example, how can I develop a better way or pursue a better destination? Am I willing to sacrifice and change who I am for the sake of who I should be? What I do for the sake of what I should do? And what I have for the sake of what I should have to achieve sustainable success? When you press on to develop perseverance, perseverance will help you to press on towards success. Third, recovering well. Resilience is not only about recovery, but also about how well and how fast you recover from a problem. What are the principles of resilience? Resilient people adopt 7 principles to help them recover well. A, principle of self. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can change themselves. B, principle of strategy. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can change their responses to the setback. C, principle of support. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can seek support to help them tackle the challenge. D, principle of solution. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can find ways to overcome the setback and other ways to achieve better results. E, principle of significance. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can discover meaning, lessons, and purpose in the setback. F, principle of strength. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can leverage on the challenge to become a stronger, more resilient, and better person. When a setback is too big for them to overcome, resilience compels them to change and grow stronger and bigger than their setback, so that they are better prepared and better positioned to overcome current as well as future setbacks. When they press on in pressing on, they will get better in completing their task and finishing the race. G. Principle of shine. Resilient people know that they may not be able to change a setback, but they can learn from the challenge to help them reach out to others who are struggling in life. How then can you be resilient? We can learn about how to be resilient from rats. Rats have been with us for a long time, and they can be found in almost every part of the world. Despite all the efforts to exterminate them, rats have overcome whatever humans have thrown at them, and they have come back with more. Rats are true survivors. Rats can teach us 8 powerful lessons on how to be resilient and how to survive and thrive in a disruptive future. 1. Rats are adaptable. It has been said that we are living in what many would call a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment. As the world continues to change at a faster pace than ever before, there are few models, if any, to help us navigate through the ever-evolving landscapes. Perhaps the rats can shed some light to show us the way. Neuroscientist Kelly Lambert has conducted experiments that involve rats for more than 25 years. She called rats the most successful and adaptive mammals on the planet. She found that rats can respond to changes in the environment faster than other mammals through their adaptive strategies and good habits. Rats somehow know that they cannot change the environment, but they certainly can change themselves. They cannot change the situation, but they can change the responses to the situation. They can adapt to whatever circumstances that they are in. And in fact, they can grow smarter, more skillful, and faster in resolving the challenges around them. And you know what? Humans can respond to a fast changing world in a similar way too. Rats are self-directed learners, and they are teachable. Rats are self-directed learners, and they are constantly seeking out new lessons. They are sensitive to the things around them and are curious to find out more about these things. Yet at the same time, they're suspicious and even paranoid about both the known as well as the unknown. They intuitively know that there's a lesson at every given moment, and the next lesson can make a difference to whether they can live and live well through another day. What's exciting is that rats are teachable. They have been trained and deployed to detect TNT in landmines and tuberculosis in human saliva. In addition, rats learn not only from their own experiences, but also learn from the experiences of other rats. For example, if they see another rat being endangered or lost its life, it can learn from the experience and become more prepared to overcome similar challenges. They learn not only quickly, but also apply the lessons promptly and skillfully to cope with perpetual onslaught of risk and dangers in their daily lives. Rats are willing to make the necessary changes to survive and thrive in any environment. Perhaps because of their ability to learn and their teachable spirit, rats have developed many qualities to help them capitalize on any situation. They have traditionally been associated with being ambitious, intelligent, creative, honest, skillful, flexible, resourceful, agile, courageous, sociable, and generous. These qualities have helped them to survive despite being small and living in complex and hostile environments. In a similar way, we need to constantly upgrade ourselves to help us resolve problems and capitalize on opportunities in the world that we're living in and the world to come. Third, rats are versatile and creative. It may be shocking to know that rats can be smarter than humans. In a report published by Harvard Business Review, Ben Vermaker and his colleagues at KU Leuven put rats and students through two cognitive learning tasks. They were trained to differentiate between good and bad patterns, and then tested on how well they apply the lessons to new types of patterns. For the first task, rats and students achieved about the same results. But for the second test, rats performed better than the humans, better than the students. One possible explanation is that humans have a tendency to evaluate information from past experiences and stick to status quo. They are conditioned to look for rules, and they make judgments based on these rules. They are conditioned to However, when a situation is new, more complex, and there are more variables to consider, it's hard to make judgments based on past rules and lessons. For example, when a new technology is discovered and there are no hard and fast rules on how to apply, or for that matter, how not to apply the technology for different users and in different situations. In such a complex situation, learning has to be based on integration of information. In this regard, rats may have an advantage over humans because of their lifestyle. Rats can go anywhere, even if they have to struggle against great odds and go through difficult situations to look for food and other essentials. Along the way, they'll enlarge not only their brain, they'll enlarge not only their capacity for survival, they also fill their brains with new spatial knowledge and other information. More importantly, they find different ways to integrate and leverage on the information to achieve the desired outcomes. In a similar way, as humans, we have to expand our repository of information by cultivating new relationships, knowledge, and experiences both within our comfort zones and without. As we create more dots in our mind, we have to challenge conventional ways of joining the dots and at the same time find out different ways to join the dots. In doing so, we can formulate a clearer picture and better pathway forward to our destination. Fourth, rats demonstrate a resilient spirit. Research has shown that as rats go through different experiences, the capacity of their brains not only starts to improve, but also they're able to integrate different lessons, and they can learn to become more intelligent and creative. They constantly improve their abilities to thrive, including bouncing back from failures and setbacks. In a similar way, studies about the human brain have shown that our cognitive abilities are not set in concrete. Our brain power is malleable or neuroplastic, and our skill sets can undergo ongoing changes and improvements. In other words, our brains and abilities can be strengthened through going and growing through life's experiences. including challenges. On the other hand, when one lives a relaxed, routine, and sedentary lifestyle, one's neural tissues will shrink and weaken one's ability to handle the vicissitudes of life. As we learn from challenges and failures, we can strengthen our capacity, ability, agility, and tenacity to overcome failures and achieve more sustainable successes. Fifth, rats love to work. The term rat race probably refers to domesticated rats running stressfully on a treadmill and going nowhere. In reality, rats love to work and they find happiness in the process of working. Also, they don't work aimlessly, but with a mission critical purpose to escape from dangers, forage for food, look for mates, or find shelters. They also work hard as well as work smart and at the same time fast and productively to get results. If they are deprived from work, they will suffer from sluggishness, anxiety disorder, and depression. These are some of the malleables that we find in many developed countries that are equipped with luxuries to support a sedentary lifestyle. We have to learn from rats in terms of developing a healthy work ethos. To many people, work has taken somewhat of a bad name. Work is perceived to erode happiness and well-being and is at times deemed to be a burden, bondage, or baggage. It's sad because other than sleeping, we are going to spend most parts of our adult lives in the workplace. We can and should learn to enjoy our work and through good work find purpose, happiness, and fulfillment. In the process of work, we can engage our brains and be involved with physical and other activities to make things happen. These activities can help us prevent dementia and develop our cognitive and emotional abilities to live a healthier life. When you enjoy your work life will be a perpetual vacation. What's more, you get paid for your enjoyment in the workplace. Six, rats are go-getters. Rats have poor vision, but fortunately, they seem to carry a no excuse spirit in their genes. They know what they want and they know how to find them. They made up for their poor vision by sharpening their senses of smell, hearing, and touch through their sensitive whiskers. When they enter a room, they can momentarily identify hideaways, places to run and climb, paper and fabrics to share, to stretch for making beds, chewable items, places to explore, and even tiny objects. It has been said that even in a dark room, rats can find the location of food within 50 thousandth of a second. There is hardly anything that can stop rats from going to any place in the world. According to the Essential Guide to Rats, rats can be found in almost all nooks and corners of the world because they are known to hitch rides in all kinds of vehicles. If rats can do it, there's no reason why humans cannot dream and make their dreams come true with the support of the resources available to them. They can hone their reticular activating system, or RAS for short, to find and focus on desired vision and the pathways to achieve the vision. The RAS is a part of the brain's attention center. It is responsible for regulating transitions between sleep and wakefulness, including levels of consciousness. In addition, the RAS is also the gatekeeper of thoughts, emotions, and external influences. As a switching center, the RAS processes a constant bombardment of information that is received through all 5 senses. It seeks out crucial information to be transmitted to the conscious mind so as to coordinate integrated responses to external stimuli. As a result, the RAS plays an important part in activating the right focus, motivation, and action to achieve targeted goals. Between developing the RAS, the good news, besides developing the RAS, the good news is that with advancement of technology and other innovations, there are more highways for you to run further and faster to success. 7th, rats are empathetic. Research by neurologist Peggy Mason at the University of Chicago found that rats choose to release other rats in a trap cage instead of going for a piece of chocolate in another cage. In another study conducted by researchers at the Kwansei Gakuin University in Japan, rats opted to abandon a piece of chocolate to save another drowning rat. The results of this study suggest that rats can be affected by emotions of other rats, and they manifest empathetic and altruistic behaviors. In another fascinating study published in a journal of eLife, it was shown that rats extend such behaviors even to strangers. Humans have a greater sense of empathy than altruism. Humans have a greater sense of empathy and altruism than rats. Empathy is one of the most powerful emotions that can influence social learning, communication, and influence. It helps humans to bridge and bond with each other, and it cannot be easily replicated by intelligent machines. With empathy and intelligent machines, you can provide the high-tech and high-touch ingredients to win hearts and minds, lead and manage them in the new age. 8th, rats are sociable and compassionate. Rats are known to be sociable and affectionate. They cherish their friends and they love companionship. What's interesting is that they possess pro-social behaviors and they look after each other, including the weak, injured, and sick rats in their pack. Without friends around them, rats tend to become lonely and even depressed. In a study by Champalimaud Center for the Unknown in Lisbon, rats chose to share a pallet of food with another. Let me repeat again. In a study by Champalimaud Center for the Unknown in Lisbon, rats chose to share a pallet of food with another rat instead of having a pallet of food for themselves. In that study, the rat that was tested would share food 70% of the time, and 14 out of 15 rats would share the food with the other rats. If rats can exhibit such selfless, caring, and compassionate spirit, there's no reason why humans cannot do more and do better for the people and environment around them. Humans have one of the most powerful forces available to them: love. Unfortunately, in the process of a busy lifestyle, you may have barely scratched the surface of love to tap this awesome force. The paradoxical truth is that the more you extend your love to others, the stronger will be your capacity and ability to love them. You will have more love for yourself and more love to share with others. Love is appealing and even infectious. It can draw others to you. At the same time, love can spur you to improve yourself and be a blessing to them. By being loving, you can inspire others to live out and flourish through the power of love. When you show more compassion, kindness, and generosity to others, you can also increase your level of happiness and well-being. Love can work miracles on the people and the environment around you. And love is a key ingredient to making the world a better home. As you continue your journey in life, just like the best of reds, may you continue to learn and develop the requisite discipline, skills, and systems to capitalize on the fast changing environment. Work hard to leverage on the best of technologies and other resources to create a positive impact on the world around you. Along the way, look after your loved ones and others around you as you create a brighter and better future for humanity. Resilient people believe that success belongs to those who never give up. Success is a long corner, but it is just around the corner. They choose the journey, persevere through challenges, recover from failure, and rise up stronger and better to finish the course. Throughout history, resilient people create some of the most inspiring stories to impact lives and change destinies. You can be the next inspirational story to exemplify how resilience has helped you achieve success. In doing so, you can motivate many others to achieve their own successes. Thank you.